I came to art via college football. I was a college football player that never fit in, and then wanted to go to school to be an animator, which very quickly that crushed. I didn't want to do that. A little bit. I got a couple of comments online or DMs online about what I'm doing or what I'm trying to do, and it made me think a little bit more about my process and what I'm setting out to accomplish. I've been making art professionally for 18 years on some level. I've been producing as much as possible that my life allows me. I moved to New York City in 2001, where I lived for a full 8 years. And the whole time I was there, I was consistently making some kind of artwork. And then from that point on, it continued up to this point right now. So I have a huge collection of content. Most things have been exhibited at some point. There are also a lot of behind the scenes of how I made things that I just documented myself, that I never have shared with anybody. Well, they were like a side project or a side exhibition that I've done at another point. I have a vast quantity of content. So what I'm doing now is either reintroducing it or introducing it up for the first time, or making it in the reel as we go. And when I started this whole process, and I said, hey, I'm going to make a living off my art, and I made a couple promises to myself and some goals but I had no idea what the idea of making an art business was, or making Kindle projects a full-time gig was. I knew I could make art. I knew what I was doing in the contemporary art context. I knew my art history and where I fit into the historical lineage of that. I knew what was happening culturally with a white male making art, especially what I was dealing with masculinity. I had all these tools, but I didn't quite have them organized in a way, and I'm still working on that. The one thing I want to talk about, now that I know why, I've had a chance to reflect on how I see art, what it functions in our world, who's missing out, who is holding us back, etc., etc. One of the things that I remember and what I'm noticing about the contemporary art world right now, and about the gallery system, about auctioneer houses like Sotheby's or Christie's, how art can be bought for millions, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then lose value, and how the artist is losing money. And some of the pretentiousness of art, contemporary art, it has a tendency to alienate the ordinary person that never gets an opportunity or doesn't have the privilege of encountering a certain type of artwork. And a lot of the artwork that they're seeing is limited to coffee houses or wine shops or the paint-by-number wine places. Even a town like Columbia is cutting edge as it is for the South and South Carolina. There is still a limit to what people can take or even know how to engage or consume. So that is something I've been reflecting on. We have one museum in Columbia. There are no art fairs that come into Columbia. There's a limited amount of galleries. There's a few contemporary art centers that are rocking and rolling that are trying to crush it. But getting people out to those things instead of going to a football game is really very difficult. Just to let you know quickly of my background, if you don't know already, I came to art via college football. I was a college football player that never fit in, and then wanted to go to school to be an animator, which very quickly that crushed. I didn't want to do that. Became a fine art sculpture major, got my BFA, moved to New York City, got my MFA in interdisciplinary art. During the whole time I was making performances, videos, sculptures that were used as props, doing drawings that inform that, and a lot of the time, except for in New York, especially when I was in art school and undergraduate, they told me at some point I was going to have to choose what I was going to do, and I said, fuck that. I'm not going to choose. It all fits together in my mind. And I was told that at some point I was going to choose this one genre or this one idea or whatever and just grind it out for the rest of my life. And I just never bought into that, and I'll let my ideas move me in directions that my creative process needs to go. And I think that's what happens with a lot of artists. Even contemporary artists, they get known for this one thing, and that's all they're going to do for the rest of their life. And that's just something I'm not interested in. Never have been. And that makes the experience, or people that are going out to see the work, a lot of times it's really stale and predictable, and it turns me off as an artist and as an art consumer, as an art fan. So the non-consumer, the non-art fan, you know they're turned off on a lot of different ways. And also what was happening during my education as an artist, there were these artists like, well, you know, you learn about Andy Warhol, but an artist like Jeff Koons, who I really just don't like. And one of the main reasons I don't like the work is because I liked it, but it never could be me. Let's just put it that way. Is Jeff Koons creates a factory, and he has these ideas, and he has all these other people around that create the art for him. I knew, because of my blue-collar background and my upbringing, my sensitivity to having to be hands-on, I was not going to be that type of artist. So it's not the knocking on him, it just wasn't my thing. And I really, for most of my career, I never felt like I could learn anything from that model. But I was wrong. And Takashi Murakami is another great example. If you don't know who that artist is, or Jeff Koons, please look them up. He does these fantastical anime, Japanese type sculptures and now installations and objects. And he does the same thing as Jeff Koons, and he doesn't make his stuff, but he designs it on digitally, and then they create it in a factory type setting. But one of the things that he does that I was always intrigued with is this idea of making a commodity out of these huge installations that he's making millions on. Making a t-shirt, or how other people have taken making a t-shirt, or how he's taken his own aesthetic and applied it to a Louis Vuitton bag. It's kind of twist on making a commodity out of art commodity. Really always had me thinking about that. But something else that a couple other artists that kind of stuck one artist that kind of stuck his foot in that was a huge influence on me was Matthew Barney. Matthew Barney's films and the Cremaster series were this huge opus of work, and these films were limited runs where you could only see them at a certain amount of time. And I want to say that during his Guggenheim exhibition back in 2003, I think that was, you could buy a patch or a sticker that was limited. And I think Guggenheim did that. I don't think he did. And I think maybe there might have been a t-shirt that was around, and I know that part of the last Cremaster film was available on DVD. I want to check that. It may still be. And at the time, I was like, oh man, I wish I could get one of those. Or I wish I would have had an opportunity to get those if I was there. And now that wish is kind of coming back around on the back end for me. And I thought about Paul McCartney. Like, I'm a huge fan of Paul McCartney's work and his performance work. And I'm asking the question, what if they put out a t-shirt? I'd buy it. Or if I could get a limited print online, I would do that. So I'm taking these ideas of things I don't like in the business, art business, what I things like about contemporary art, what I don't like about contemporary art, and I'm kind of creating my own model. Because the people that I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone, for lack of a better term, is that you have this group or these people that are art fans and contemporary art fans that are educated in art, and they have this certain insight that most ordinary people don't have, and they bring their own baggage to the work. I want to engage them, and that's what I've been trained to do. I want to engage them and bring them in, and then also at the same time not bore them and make it interesting for them. But also at the same time, I'm thinking about the average Joe guy that's coming in and seeing the work, and there are bits and pieces that they can latch onto because of popular culture, like how I use Wizard of Oz or Led Zeppelin or something like that, and now triathlon. Maybe they can jump on it and be engaged on it on some other level. But also at the same time, both of those communities can consume the work by buying a T-shirt or a sticker or these other products or remnants that are going to be available online now. This on-demand printing service where you can see a drawing at a show, original drawing that you just really can't afford or may not even feel like it's worth that much money, but you can buy it for $25 or whatever. I think you can choose your price according to the size. You get an 8x10 or whatever size, mount on phone call or whatever, put in the room. I want to have I want to create a market or create a model for the different artists that want to do similar type things, because I am not going to be, and although I'm not going to be showing in galleries on a consistent basis, and that's all where my revenue or my income's coming from. I hope to do that. I love the white box. I love the challenges it presents, the work and the artist, and I love museums, and I want to have the ambitions of being in museum shows and leaving a legacy about how I make my art, what I'm making the art about. So I just wanted to share a couple of things what I've been thinking about, what I'm offering that maybe some other artists aren't offering. I know that there are artists out there that are doing similar type things, but from a contemporary artist, sculptor, interdisciplinary performance artist that makes videos and sews and makes costumes and props and all this other stuff, how do I put it all into one thing? And who am I serving by doing that? And so I think I'm serving both the art fans or art educated crowd and then the average Joe. I'm hoping to draw the average Joe into looking up the names I just mentioned to you a second ago. I don't want to alienate anybody. I want to make you think when you leave the space or you leave these objects. So that's all I had to say right now. The next video we're going to talk about Lars von Trier's 5 Obstructions and how I implement those strategies into my studio practice, and how I always go back to this class I took at NYU with Beverly Sims. And I want to shout out to Sebastian Eruiz and Ernesto Burgos, Ricardo Gonzalez, Aaron Raymer, and if I'm missing somebody out there that weren't part of that class, you guys are rock. You changed how I make art, how I blitz the studio, Ernesto. Thank you for that, and I'm always going back to that. And so we'll be talking about that next time.